Hello everybody and welcome back to my Minecraft Playtime series where I think we're on episode 14 now and you actually get to hear my voice this week, so that's a bonus. And I'm here in the sort of courtyard garden, well, garden in progress I suppose I should say, for our library, and I really like how it's coming along. This is obviously a major work in progress right now. All this moss is kind of plain, and even, you know, we've got the beginnings of like a pond and everything, which I'm actually gonna continue down there, but we'll get to that later. It's also looking a little bit plain. There's a bunch of stuff that I need to do, but real fast I better catch you up on a few things that I did last week that didn't make it into the video. Now, the first thing I did was I took an incredibly long trip, a very, very long trip, and I went to a swamp to get some lily pads. And while lily pads were initially the reason that I went there, they didn't end up being the best thing that I got there because I ended up finding some frogs. And well, I've been wanting to make a, what do you call that? A frog light? Yeah, I've been wanting to make a frog light farm for quite a while because frog lights are really cool and there's a bunch of really awesome stuff you can do with them, but I just clearly there hasn't been any time for me to get to a swamp. So yeah, I got some tadpoles and made my way back. That was a long trip. It was seriously like 20 minutes of flying, probably even more than 20 minutes actually. I'd have to go back and see how long exactly, but it was a very long flight. And then the other thing I did was I went back to the Nether Fortress, got a whole bunch more, well, I think 6 total wither skeleton skulls, and then I killed a couple of withers. I just kind of needed some more beacons. I really need to go through and do like quite a few because I'd like to get quite a few beacons just to spread around everywhere so I don't have to build up the beacon every time I need one and then tear it down. I'll get to that eventually, but for now I've at least got 2 more in my arsenal. And I suppose it's finally time that I should give you a little bit of insight into what I've been doing around here. I've got a massive hole that I dug right in front of our library, and I know I said initially that I was gonna make like a plaza here and do something for the entrance to our crypt, which is down here now, but I kind of had a change of heart as I got to work. I created this little pond and I put up the start of like a natural rock fence. It still needs a little work, and then as I was doing it, I don't know, I just wanted to do something a little bit crazy. So I thought maybe I can have this pond come down. We'll have like these little tiers as it goes down, and then I'll have it drain down into a bigger pond down here. And we'll have like a cool garden we can walk through. And then I got to thinking, well, what about the entrance? Because of course people are gonna still need to be able to access our library. And while we can come down from around here, what if we're coming from this direction? And well, I'll probably have like a little staircase along the wall up here. But I think I also might make kind of a bridge going from here to this sort of land bridge that we have there. That's eventually gonna connect up here to the walkway over here. And I didn't talk about this at all. Sorry, there's just so much to say. I really like this waterfall we've got going down here and the bridge right on top. I very, very meticulously and intentionally placed the bridge here so that we've got the tree going here and then the bridge right there, and I just think it looks so cool here with the vines coming down from the wall. You can walk over the bridge, and we've got a river that is, well, it's coming from nowhere. We don't really need to talk about this. This is magic. This is a magical water source right here that is causing this river, and it's, oh, well, hello there. I've been going through and getting as many of these mini blocks as I can. But anyway, this pond is going to be a really interesting part because I'm going to have this. I think this will drop down here. There will be a little mini waterfall here and then like a bigger pond over here. And we might actually have our crypt entrance right there. But then over here, I kind of want to have like a bigger waterfall that'll eventually let out into this river over here. And we'll just have kind of a cool, I like to have really, maybe this is extreme terrain for like an actual world, but that's really part of the allure to Minecraft for me. Just being able to make this really cool and kind of extreme terrain that might not be super realistic, but it just looks so cool and it's so fun to walk around in. And once we get this all looking nice and pretty, then it's gonna be so cool. I'm very, very excited. We've got a lot of room to work with, so I think I've talked enough. Let's just get some stuff going. And there you have it. I really like how it turned out. We've got rocks over on this side, and then I wanted to put the dirt there on the top over here. Basically, if we come down here, I want each side to be just a tiny bit different. I haven't done this side yet, but over here we've got just these big rocks that I need to fix them up a little bit, because if you look along this line, you can see that the old rocks that I did, they're just kind of, there's a long line of, what do you call that? Of tuff. That needs to be kind of blended through. So I'll fix that. Actually, you know what? I'll just do it right now. All right, I'll probably want to go through and add just a little bit more variation later on, but I think that's good enough for now. But yeah, as I was saying, we've got the rocks over here on this side. I added like a cool little cave here. And then over on this side, I wanted to kind of add dirt into it, because we've got all this dirt up here, and then we'll have it transition into the blacker, like kind of darker rocks, because this whole area, I kind of have it envisioned as a bit of a volcanic rock kind of thing. That's why I'm using a lot of the deep slate and all of those darker stones. But I still want to add a little bit of topsoil on the top, and maybe I put a little bit too much. It's kind of hard to say, but I also added lots of, we've got rooted dirt there at the top, and the buttons and a little bit of the tuff really helps to make it look like it's kind of rocky soil. At least that's what I'm going for anyway. And then over on this side, once we eventually get to it, I'll probably do a little bit of like dripstone there on the top. I'll add some decorations for the water here and then up there, but this is pretty much how it's gonna go. I like what I did with the floor here. I'll still need to add a whole bunch of flowers and stuff and make it a little bit more colorful, but it's really got this cool kind of old sort of degraded, almost ruins kind of feel. I originally was planning on just having this all be flat, but having variation in the walls really helps a lot. And you can do the same thing with the floor, where you just create this slight variation and it kind of changes how you see things. I mean, you look at the little lake here from here, down a little bit lower, it changes your field of view just a little bit more. And then down here, you're almost level with it. And I really like how that looks. And here in just a second, we're going to go and make a frog light farm, which is going to be a little bit tough because there aren't any warm biomes anywhere near me. But before we do that, I kind of want to show you what I mean with making all of these little water sources feel slightly different. So up here, we're right here in front of the library, and we're gonna see this all from up here on top of the bridge. So I really want this water to look crystal clear. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a bunch of this really nice stone brick texture to the bottom. And of course I ruined my redstone here for what seems like the millionth time. Keep forgetting that that's right there. All right, now that that's taken care of, you can kind of see what I mean. We've got this really nice brick-like texture here, which makes it look just a little bit more refined than this because, you know, it's just flat stone. So this makes it look just a little bit more intentional, I think. Now down here on the lower rung, on the other hand, I want to kind of do something similar, but I want to add just a little bit of mossy stone bricks. And that way, it looks just a tiny bit dirtier. So you see up here, it looks a little bit more pristine. Down here, it's a little bit dirtier. And then down here, I might even go just a step further and add in mossy cobblestone. And it's kind of getting a little dark out, but you can see it just makes it a little bit more messy than it is up here. And it's not something that you're gonna notice super easily, but just, you know, when you're walking by, it's gonna be just a little bit of a detail. And you know, something else that I might do now that it's getting dark, I might actually add some lighting into this water just to make it even more clear at night. Something kind of like that. I'll probably switch these out for shroom lights once I actually get those, but you know, I think it helps with the ambiance a little bit. I'm actually gonna hold off on this one for now, but over here, since this is kind of like a runoff area where this water is just going to be kind of sitting here, I want to make it probably a little bit deeper, especially in the middle, like, you know, something like this. And then I'll actually use this green terracotta, and you can see it just makes the water look a little bit greener. I'll even add it in there on the sides and stuff like that, and it just, you know, it's not a big thing. It just makes it feel a little bit different. I can even throw in a few lily pads here and there. Not super intentional with my placement. I might change it up later, but it kind of gives you an idea. And actually, I just had a really fun little idea. Since I have a few extra tadpoles, what if I just plop in these guys in there, and when they grow up into frogs, I'm not sure, I hope they don't escape, but I can breed up a couple of those. Maybe they'll climb up these stairs. I don't know, we'll see. I think having a little bit of life in here will make it a lot cooler. I can even, you know, I've got all sorts of fish stocked up here from trading from or getting it from the wandering traders. Let's just get some of these, and we can plop some of these guys in here too. Now we'll just have to hope that these guys don't run away, which they appear to be doing right now. Took this guy all of like 2 seconds to jump over here in the corner where I'm not sure if he can actually escape. I mean, I know he can, but the question is, will he? Oh, okay, good. Boy, I don't know what it is about this corner, but they really like it. I know I keep saying I'm just gonna leave him be and see what happens, but I can't help watching this guy. He just jumped up on the roof. Very interesting to see what these guys like to do. I was hoping they would enjoy the pond just a little bit more than up here, but I guess you just like jumping, so yeah. You have fun. Even my fish can't stay still. They all want to climb up the waterfall. They're like salmon. Now I'm just invested. Where are they going? You guys are gonna find out that there's not much up here. You like it? Was it worth it? Hey guys, this is future me from after the farm was completed, just realizing that I completely forgot to make a transition between getting the frogs and actually making the farm. So let me just go into excruciating detail as to how wow, putting this farm together was exactly as easy as gathering up those frogs was difficult. But we're there, we got a whole bunch of frog lights. I even AFK'd for a while, and yeah, I don't think that I'm ever, well, I'm sure eventually I will, but I'm definitely not gonna have to AFK here at all for a very, very long time. So I don't foresee myself using a whole bunch of frog lights, but you know what? Now we have them. And this farm is a farm by Shulkercraft. I'll put the link in the description, but it's very, very nice. It's so easy to make. You just make this platform really, and the hardest part of it, like I said, is just getting all the frogs gathered together and in there. And to be honest, even that really wouldn't be all that difficult, except it was kind of hard for me to get a warm biome because all the biomes near me are either temperate or cold. And I don't know if you noticed in the time lapse that I had there, but turns out cold oceans are only cold in Bedrock. They don't actually count as a cold biome for Java Edition, which I think is kind of weird, but yeah, whatever. I guess that's why I'm not in charge of the game. And that is quite the haul. These are almost all completely filled. This one's magma cream, and then we've got all of our pearlescent, all of our ochre, and all of the verdant ones as well. And yeah, really, really nice farm. Really easy to make. Highly recommend. But either way, I think that's where I'm going to have to end this episode for today. We got a lot done. All of it down here. Well, pretty much all of it down here. And I really, really like it. I just love how we managed to blend all of this kind of darker rock into, you know, the rest of the landscape. We incorporated the dirt up here at the top. And one of my favorite things that I don't know if I mentioned it is I managed to make this staircase kind of blend into the rock, which I really, really like. You kind of just walk up here and come out up top. I'll need to change this up somehow, but you know, that's a problem for another day. We got a bunch of frogs. There's some fish in here somewhere. There's our fish. And we got our frog light farm. So we've got all sorts of those. So I'm gonna actually real quick run down. I actually had some in my inventory already. I don't know if I'll actually use the pearlescent ones. I'll have to look and see how they look, but let's just pop some of these in here. Yeah, I think that's better. You know, I don't know. I might do something else with the floor here. I don't know. Well, it's a work in progress, like pretty much everything, but I like having the light in there because it looks a lot cooler at night. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for, well, next week's episode. Bye.